Hey guys, it's Schwasty. Welcome to the fifth and final video in a 5-part series where I will cover the ins and outs of all the classes in BattleBit Remastered. Last but not least, it's the Recon class, so let's wrap this up. Today I'll be giving you guys everything you need to know to be as efficient as possible with the Recon class. I'll also throw in my personal opinions throughout, letting you know what type of loadouts I like to run with. The Recon class is aimed towards long-range engagement. With your trusty sniper or marksman rifle by your side, your role is to provide reconnaissance on enemy movement from afar and to engage hostiles without mercy. The Recon class is aimed towards players that prefer to keep off the front lines. Precision, patience, and stealth will be your key to success. Running and gunning as a Recon is possible. Some weapons like the Mark 14 even lean into this, but you'll find yourself often outclassed by others, so leave the sick no-scopes for only the most dire of situations. With a wide array of optics available, you can not only see much further, but you can engage enemies at distances of 1 km plus with relative ease. But be warned, any optic with 6 times magnification or greater will generate a white glare that can be seen by anybody in front of you, and it makes you about as stealthy as a firework display. Take note that currently the glare is glitched to the point where it can even be visible through trees and other concealment, so don't spend too long aiming down sights before taking the shot, as you'll be sure to attract a lot of attention. To counter this, I highly recommend using the medium range optics. They still offer a decent zoom and are ideal for engagements anywhere between 100 meters up to 1 kilometer if you're willing to put in the practice. These will not generate any glare. Also, make sure your render distance and anti-aliasing is up high if your system can afford it to make far away opponents appear clearer. As the Recon class, you only have access to the sniper rifles and the marksman rifles. Using anything else would defeat the purpose of what makes this class unique. Bolt action snipers are the strongest long range weapon in the game, as they rightfully should be. The limits of a bolt action sniper lies in the sniper's ability and not within the weapon itself. You will have to get used to manually cycling the bolt after each shot until you unlock some bolt upgrades, but landing that perfect headshot on a moving target is a satisfying reward in itself. With the sniper rifles, don't bother paying too much attention to each weapon's recoil and control. All you should be focusing on is bullet velocity, aim down sight speed, and to a lesser extent your damage and movement speed. Recoil plays no part here, as your weapon will have reset by the time you chamber the next round. For this reason, I tend to favour sniper rifles with the fastest velocity, as the faster your bullet travels, the less you will have to compensate your shot on a moving target. For this, my personal favourites include the L96 and the M200 with the Ranger barrel attachment. This increases both damage and bullet velocity, which is a must-have upgrade for any long-range expert. You won't unlock either of these for a while though. Starting off, the Recon class only has access to the SSG-69. All the bolt action snipers are powerful in the right hands, so don't feel put off by its lower damage and velocity. Once you become comfortable with it, it's perfectly capable of creating widows. My ideal sniper rifle loadout would look something like this once I've gotten a couple hundred kills with it. The marksman rifles are designed for medium to long range engagements, but you can also spam the trigger at close range in a pinch. These can be equipped with short and medium range optics, and even the 6x scope if you're feeling brave. Personally, I would wait until rank 40 before trying these, as the Mark 20 isn't a viable option right now. The Mark 14 at rank 60 is even capable of fully automatic fire. With assault rifles like the Scar H and the AK-15 being so powerful with their high damage output, there's not really an ideal range at the moment where the marksman rifles reign supreme. By all means give them a go if you're curious, as they can certainly do some damage, but right now they're not exactly meta weapons. Like with my sniper rifle loadout, you will need to work towards some of these attachments. As with all classes, the Recon class has access to the standard set of secondary handguns. It's important to use something you're familiar with, as you'll rely on it when you hear footsteps rapidly approaching. Starting off, the MP443 isn't a bad choice, as it's accurate and you can spam the trigger quite quickly. Later on, the Unica is a solid option too. As a Recon, you're limited by your character customization. No access to helmets means it's more important than usual to keep your head down and stay out of 1v1 close quarter engagements. I choose the normal chest armor as it can often be the difference between life or death in a game of cat and mouse with another sniper, and I appreciate the extra magazines. For your movement, I find the light backpack gives me everything I need, makes my silhouette smaller, and it won't affect my movement. the Recon class comes with 3 bandages as standard. My tips for being an effective Recon include: avoid high optic zooms. As mentioned earlier, any optic with a greater magnification than the 6x means you will produce a glare from your scope when aiming down sights. This will make it easier for enemies to spot you. I recommend a medium range optic to negate this. Doing this will allow you to counter the snipers with the high optic scopes more easily, as they're less likely to spot you. Learn the maps you're playing on. Map knowledge is crucial to being an effective sniper, and this will only come to you with patience and some trial and error. Try to position yourself close by to your teammates, but not so close that you're taking fire on the front lines. Position yourself in such a way that you have easy, solid cover to hide behind, and just be aware of your surroundings. Claymores and anti-personnel mines can be quite useful, as at the least you'll know someone is approaching when they blow one up. Place these in hard to see areas like in long grass or around tight corners. You can even try combining your AP mines with the Recon drone for when the enemy isn't walking onto your mines fast enough. Change positions frequently. Don't stay in the same place after killing 5 enemies and then acting surprised when they come back and hunt you down. I like to move between spots with good lines of sight, often leaving behind a little present for any enemy that thinks they're getting the drop on me. Sometimes it's better to take a body shot than lose the perfect opportunity waiting for the enemy to poke their head out. Due to the health system in BattleBit Remastered, there's a decent chance your enemy has already bandaged but not healed themselves, making them an easy one-shot kill. I'd consider myself lucky if I landed even 50% of the shots I take in a match, as I will rarely let an opportunity to inflict some damage go past me. Binding your weapon zeroing to your mouse wheel makes it easier to adjust for range on the fly without affecting your movement. Combine this with the rangefinder attachment and you'll no longer need to guess the distance to your victims. Moving on to primary gadgets, I've covered all of these before, so if you don't want to watch it again, you can skip to the timestamp on screen. First on the list is the advanced binoculars and binoculars, useful for when you need to be able to see a bit further away, but not really worth it as a Recon, as you'll already likely have a magnified optic. Anti-personnel mines are useful booby traps, killing any enemy unfortunate enough to step on one. Very low profile, they can be used as early warning detectors when the enemy is nearby. C4 is most useful for engaging enemy vehicles, but can also be used to engage infantry or destroy brick walls or barricades in your way. Be advised it can take up to 4 C4 to take out an enemy tank. Claymores are similar to anti-personnel mines, but are more easily spotted due to their black tripwire cables. They do offer slightly greater damage against enemies that cross their wires. Suicide C4 offers the player a last chance at revenge when getting overrun by the enemy. Simply click to blow yourself up and take out any enemies within close proximity to you. Best utilised when using CQB to engage multiple enemies. Despite blowing yourself to smithereens, you can still be revived afterwards by your team. Moving on to secondary gadgets, the grappling hook can be used to scale buildings and cliffs. This can help you flank an unsuspecting enemy or grant you access to a previously inaccessible area. White lines indicate if the rope can be deployed, so adjust your position if the lines are red. Simply aim at the top of where you want to climb and fire to release a rope that all players can use to scale up and down. You climb by walking over and jumping into the rope, then use W and S to traverse. The rope can be cut to when no longer needed. Be warned that how many ropes you can deploy depends on your character loadout. The maximum height the rope can be deployed is about 55 meters according to the inbuilt rangefinder. Pickaxes and sledgehammers can be used for destroying walls, obstacles, and even the occasional melon. A sledgehammer will create a large hole in a wall suitable for climbing through. Pickaxes are very useful for when you want to only knock out a couple of bricks and create a sneaky firing position. The MDX-201 is a Recon exclusive gadget that will mimic a sniper scope, luring in enemy fire. Just place them down and the glare will rotate 360 degrees like a lighthouse. Use these to help you spot an otherwise well hidden enemy. The air drone is useful for spotting enemies from above. Use your ping on an enemy player to reveal that position with a red pin to your teammates. You can also use them for express mine delivery, but be aware that they are loud, weak to gunfire, and have a limited range. Overall, the Recon class will feel familiar to a lot of Battlefield veterans. Play it in a similar fashion and you'll do well. Snipe unsuspecting enemies from range to rack up your score, as the distance between you and your target will factor into how much XP you gain. Anyway guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I would appreciate if you could rate the video and consider subscribing to the channel for more BattleBit content. This is the final class video that I'll be covering, so thank you very much if you've watched them all. If you haven't and you're interested, a video will appear on the screen in a moment. If I've missed anything important, please let me know down in the comments below. Remember to watch your house, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Take care.